Issue 13 of this Transformers run is the start of a new arc. Somebody commented on one of my videos. Thank you very much for that. And they said that this next arc is even better than the first one. Now, I see here, I was asking Grok about who was the artist and who was the writer on each issue. And it looks like I thought I'd see Daniel Warren Johnson come back at some point, but I'm very disappointed to learn that he's not coming back. He wrote every issue up until 24, but he only ever drew the first 6. I thought he was going to come back. There's a new artist on number 13. His name, or there's a, it says Jason Howard on pencils. I never checked about inkers. It's probably pencil and ink, but anyway. Yeah, just on this first issue from this new team, is my least favorite art. Like, it's not that bad. It's just I love Daniel Warren Johnson's stuff. I really did like Jorge Corona's stuff. Like, it got amazing. I am willing to give this one a chance and see where it goes. Just because I've kind of gotten a bit invested, and like sometimes if the art is really bad, I'd be just like, no way, I'm not reading that at all. Like, but so it's like it's not that bad, but yeah, it's just kind of, I don't like, it was the artist that brought me into the Transformers world, and now I'm wondering, is it going to be the story that keeps me there? And this story is it's an interesting one because it gives you the it's kind of like the origin story of Starscream, and I never really thought much about the origin story of any of these characters. Essentially, it portrays him, he seems to have been quite a good character, just a kind of a kid on what's the planet called that they live on, Cybertron, and he had a few buddies, and they were all talking about getting off because there's like a war in Cybertron, about just getting off and going off into the stars. And he was essentially, his friend gets killed. I think his friend was getting involved in the war. His friend gets killed. It's Optimus Prime who killed his friend, and this is kind of like something that's brought him into the world. And by the end of the issue, you know, he kind of teams up with Megatron. Sorry, I'm forgetting all the names here. And he's at the end, he's kind of saying, you know, the name is Starscream. But it kind of led me on to think about when a lot of stories get kind of, they call it retconned, where a character's past is changed to kind of suit a new narrative and stuff. And like, there's so much there does be a lot of anger and fan debate online. I think when certain properties they go from comics into the movies, and then like the creative team on the movie retcon stuff and change stuff, and it goes against what the fan base from the comics loved. And so I'd never really thought about Starscream, so I did go into Grok, and I asked it about Starscream's origin, and had any other books talked about his origin. And it seems he's had multiple versions of who he was. Like in the Marvel comics, it says here he was in a criminal organization, and then in this Dreamwave comics, he was a scientist who turned into a gladiatorial combat kind of warrior. He's a politician in the IDW comics. Like, so it doesn't seem like there's any kind of like, you know, beloved like standard or canon, as they say, for the origin of Starscream. And like, he is by far one of the most popular characters. Like he's in the top 3, I would say. So like, I guess it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm not sure. It is always interesting to have a character who maybe starts out good and then becomes bad for certain reasons, and it's, can you sell that, and can the payoff work? But yeah, look, we'll see. Time will tell. This issue in itself, was there anything that really stood out to me? There was one page which was really, really nice. It was a it like at the start here, it kind of goes back to where in the main comic where Starscream gets thrown down, like gets defeated by Soundwave and gets thrown off a pit, and it looks like he's going to get resurrected by these humans who possibly are tied in with G.I. Joe. I'm not sure. See how that goes. But I did like this kind of optimistic vibe here where he had his friends, and there was this moment here where they were. Let me see if this page can be shown properly. Yeah, this is like a double page spread where I can't remember. I think this is, I remember the toys, the Transformer toys, and it was like this, there was a Transformer that turned into literally like a train and a train track and a building and stuff, like, so it was like gigantic, like, and I think this is kind of one of those beings. Sorry, I'm not really a huge Transformer guy, but I thought that was a beautiful page from the artistic standpoint. Nothing really else stood out as like being like, you know, amazingly impressive, like top tier kind of art. It is really nice. It definitely fits in with the I guess with the art style that we saw throughout the first arc, and the fact that Jorge Corona is still involved makes me kind of optimistic and hopeful for this run. But look, I'm going to leave it at that, and look, we'll see. I'm kind of on the fence here where it's going to go, but yeah, let's see.